Do you know why CMA US has picked up so much in India over the last few years? Very many people, when they decide not to do CA, they are left with this entire plethora of finance or accounting international qualifications such as CMA, CPA, ACCA, CFA, and a lot of them decide CMA, but sometimes you guys don't really know what CMA is all about. You're doing it more just because it's an available qualification or because you're not eligible for other qualifications, and that's why I'll take up CMA. But in this video, I'm going to try and explain to y'all why picking up CMA consciously might be a really great decision for you guys. And stay tuned to the end. I'm going to talk about how you can have massive savings in terms of paying the fees to the CMA body to complete your qualification. And of course, before I move forward, many of y'all keep asking us on different qualifications. Many of y'all do know that we train, like I mentioned earlier, on ACCA, CFA, CPA, CMA, IFRS. But we keep on getting questions on the right kind of combinations, on what should I do first? Is this the right time for me to start this qualification? What about others like FRM or actuarial science? We have videos on all of that. Please check us out. If this is the first time you're watching our video and you like it, please subscribe. It helps us not only grow our channel, but a lot of other users like you guys. It helps them find us and we can help them make a better career decision. So first of all, what is CMA? The full form is Certified Management Accounting, and it is a US based qualification with the body called Institute of Management Accounting, IMA. It's based out of US and it obviously has branches in India. We are associated with IMA. We are in touch with the IMA body from India. So any questions, by the way, that you guys have related to the official body, feel free to reach out to us. Many of you already know that we have training for, we do conduct training for ACCA, CFA, CPA and CMA. So feel free to reach out. Now coming back to what exactly is management accounting. I'll make it quite simple, right? First of all, the accounting that we studied in the 12th, tallying the balance sheet and creating a profit and loss account, majority of the times this is done for compliance purposes. It's because the government has told us that the accounting standards of India are this. You have to create a balance sheet like this, profit and loss account like this. It is for what we call financial reporting purposes, to show the outside world a balance sheet, a profit and loss account, for tax purposes, but everything to do with outsiders. Management accounting is internal. If you let me give you an example. I always use Google because it's one of the most interesting ideas. Tech with finance, how do you combine? So let's say your dream company is Google and you want to start and end your entire career at Google, but in the finance and accounting domain. Google has a big, massive finance and accounts department. So let's say you start as a fresher, right? You enter at the bottom of the pyramid, and as a management accountant, you'll have to collect information. So for example, you will collect, what kind of accounts are opening on a daily basis on Gmail? How many paid users do we have for Google Drive? Is Google Maps making any money, or is there a loss leader? Is search engine still always going to be 80% of our revenue, or do we have another way to diversify? All these questions which are to do with finance and accounts but internal to the organization, this information is sort of collected by a management accountant. He or she understands this data, processes it, makes sense out of it, provides insights and recommendations, and then gives it to somebody senior. That senior will be able to make a business decision based on the information collected by a management accountant. So their time and energy and hopefully money is saved because of the cost accountant, or what we call management accountant. And if you provide value to the company like that, that's how you'll keep rising up the ranks. So first of all, management accounting, you all have to understand, is the same as cost accounting. In India, especially the older CAs, they have something that they say, I'm a chartered accountant, but somebody I know is a cost accountant. That cost accountant or cost and work accountants, these are all different terms for the Indian CMA. Whereas the program which people are taking up now is the US CMA. So remember that difference. When you search for CMA, do not search for CMA India, search for CMA US. Let me dive right into the first point, which is eligibility. Simple, no-brainer. If you have cleared your grade 12, you are eligible for CMA. So coming to the academic structure, CMA is split into two parts: part 1 and part 2, as you can see. These subjects are actually quite interesting, right? Because not only do they cover how to actually collect information internally, but they also help you provide recommendations and business insights which help somebody else make a good decision because of your influence. And that's really sometimes interesting, you know, is you see subjects such as budgeting and forecasting, or subjects such as performance management, cost management. These are really interesting subjects because you're actually contributing to how to make the business more profitable. You'll see, I remember seeing openings in CMA on something known as pricing manager. So that's really, you understand what price to set, how to save cost, how to make strategies to save or generate higher returns in the future, all internal to the business rather than doing it for reporting purposes, doing it to show outsiders, show investors. That's all great. You have to, but that's external reporting. These subjects teach you internal accounting, and that's really interesting. Coming to the exam duration. Now the exam duration is typically 6 to 9 months. It can go to 12 months or higher, but we recommend finishing it between 6 to 9 months. When it comes to the exam window, as you can see, there are 3 exam windows, and you can appear for these exams, either part 1 or part 2 or both, anytime within these windows. And in these windows, they are called on demand, which means anytime within, let's say Jan or Feb, you want to appear for the exam, you can just book the exam and go and appear for part 1, part 2, whatever you're prepared for. So the scope for CMA. First of all, let me split the scope with overseas. Guys, a US qualification like this has huge value, not only of course in the US, but these are very powerful, this is a very powerful qualification, well known across the world in other countries as well. So if you go somewhere, don't worry, there'll always be place for you as a CMA. But coming back to India, coming back more local, right? Let me split this into, first of all, what kind of companies. So obviously the big four, KPMG, Deloitte, PwCs and EYs of the world will hire. Grant Thornton and BDO will hire. In fact, I might have a call with one of these companies to take CMAs from Zell, because all of these kind of companies are looking for such qualifications. This is the kind of, also I saw that companies like Amazon, Accenture, Wipro, these kind of companies are also hiring CMAs. When it comes to the kind of profiles, right? You can become a business analyst, you can get into financial analysis, you can get into portfolio management, you can get into asset management and value creation. Anything that you can help a company with by collating financial data internally, present it to your seniors so that they can make better decisions. That's what a CMA's role is for, and this is increasing day by day in India tremendously. So these are the kind of profiles, the kind of salary packages that CMAs earn. Ranges between 4 to 7 lakhs depending on which company, what profile, which geography, what is your background, your experience, but you can look at it, it's little lower than a CA, but on the same lines. Now, by the way, if you'll be able to see, we were searching on portals like IIM, Jobs and Naukri, where you'll see the kind of profiles that CMAs are able to apply for with almost zero experience, and it's spread over pan-India in companies that people like you would love to start your career in. So if you're in college, you're not sure of what to do, maybe you're not eligible for CPA, you said no to CA, for whatever reason you might not be looking at ACCA or CFA, CMA is an amazing option, because not only do you finish this quickly, you then have the entire world at your disposal. You can stay in India, you can move overseas, you can start studying something else, but your return on your time and effort investment is relatively quite high with CMA. Much is the fees for CMA. So here are 2-3 very important things for you to know, right guys? Number one, if you're a student, and by student I mean you are pursuing something full-time, it could be your bachelor's, it could be your master's, but you have to be pursuing it full-time when you pick up CMA. Your entire cost will be approximately 1.2 to 1.4 lakhs over the entire period, and this includes everything. It includes your training fees, your exam fees, your registration, your study material, etc, etc. If you are a professional, and by professionals, the IMA body defines professionals as basically you're not a full-time student. You could be working, you could be doing an internship, you basically are not studying full-time. They categorize you as a professional, and if you take up CMA here, the total fees will be between 1.7 to 1.9 lakhs Again, including the training, the exam fees, the registration, the study material and everything. So it's actually quite a decently priced course compared to an ACCA, a CPA or a CFA, which is between 3 to 4 lakhs each. So completing CMA in less than 2 lakhs, having the potential to earn almost as much as these other qualifications and doing it in a year or less, it's actually a very powerful, a very lucrative qualification for you guys. So first of all, is this qualification for you? How do you know? Let me break it down quickly, right? We get a lot of inquiries where most of the students are in college, so mostly around you guys, the age of you guys. And like I said, A, you said no to CA. B, for some reason, either you're not eligible for a qualification like CPA, so you can start CMA now and then eventually do CPA, having 2 US qualifications, very powerful. One is a specialization in management accounting, the other is the chartered accounting of US. Having these 2 qualifications is a very powerful qualification, and you can complete it quite smoothly without too much of pressure of difficult exams, etc., etc. You have some inclination towards the field of finance and accounts, but you don't know what to pursue. You're too young, you don't know what the real world is about. How do you know if you want to commit 5 years to a CA or 3 years to a CFA or an ACCA? Starting with CMA is really a powerful qualification, a really great idea, because you can finish it quite quickly and then you can start working, gain exposure and realize, okay, do I need to study something more or can I just continue working? Do I want to stay in India? Do I want to stick to the profile I'm sticking to? Is the brand which I'm working for good? At a very young age, you get the ability to choose your career, and that's the real power, the real benefit of CMA. Lastly, you can finish CMA within, let's say, a year in college, but to become a member, you have to complete your graduation and you need a couple of years of work experience. So clear the exams, you can start working. By the time you graduate, you can become a member. So guys, I hope that you got some sense of CMA, and most importantly, I hope it helps you take a call on whether it's the right qualification for you or not. We spoke about the academic structure, the eligibility, whether it's right for you or not, what is the fees, what is the return, what is the salary, what is the kind of scope, what kind of combinations you can pursue, whether it makes sense for you to do it now or later. And I hope that this helps you all actually leave this video, make up your mind a little more and take that first career jump. Lastly, as I said, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the fees. Remember guys, a student which is a full-time pursuing some studies like a bachelor's or a master's full-time with CMA, that student gets to save approximately 30 to 40,000 rupees. So, but that should not be a reason that if you're not studying something, you're planning to study something 6 months later, you should wait. The return on time is the highest return. So if you want to start, pay that extra little money today, but you'll get a higher return in the future. Do not wait. However, if you are a student, take advantage. Also, the IMA body provides some of us training providers the ability to provide scholarships to our students. So once again, if you want to really look at saving up on fees, IMA at the body is very friendly. It offers a lot of these waivers. Hopefully, many of you all can benefit from it. So feel free, reach out to us below, on the number below, and we'll be able to help you out with CMA.